Redstone is tricky, however, thanks to Mumbo Jumbo,
Hi, how's it going?
it can be understood. The other day, Mumbo challenged me in a video to do 15 different redstone tasks, and I thought, how hard could it really be? So let's do it.
The first project that I want you to take on is to power these two doors at exactly the same time from these pressure plates. So we stand on the pressure plates and the doors will open up. Now, I don't want any exposed redstone. I don't want to see any redstone lines running out from these pressure plates. All of the redstone needs to be happening underneath the ground.
Okay, so let's take a look at how we can make this happen. I believe if we just send power to that block, okay, so that door opens. If we go down here, okay, he's already got redstone going there. So if we send power to that, okay, that won't work because it then, okay. But if we were to send it this way, then the door opens. Okay, fantastic. So first off, we obviously have to get some redstone underneath these pressure plates. Uh-oh. So we will just go ahead and do that. Then I'm thinking if we run some redstone repeaters like that into this and like that. He doesn't have redstone under that one for some reason. It was under that one, but not under this one. Okay, I think that should work. Yes! Let's take a look at what Mumbo did.
This is my solution. So underneath these pressure plates, I've got myself a redstone line which gets powered when we stand on top of the pressure plates, and then as you can see the repeaters then power these blocks with the redstone dots on top.
It looks like we did that exactly the same way as Mumbo, so we're good there.
I want this redstone lamp to flash on when I flick this lever. So when I flick the lever, that redstone lamp should flash. Now when I turn off the lever, absolutely nothing should happen.
Okay, I gotta tell you, this is a little bit more confusing to me, so let's see what we can do here. I had to pull out stone brick because that's my normal redstone block. Okay, so if we have that, and then maybe we have redstone going into it, no. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe this, it probably won't work, but let's just see. Okay, I'm not really sure why that didn't actually send a signal. Oh, maybe it did send a signal, but it actually, okay. Let's see, what if we do that? Okay, so it flashed on, but then when we pull this back, is it going to flash again? Nothing, okay, so I think we did it. So we're sending that, we get a flash, and then we pull it back, and nothing happens. Now let's ask Mumbo.
When we power this block right here, you can see the block gets powered, sending a redstone signal through to this repeater, but then the piston extends, cutting off that signal, meaning the signal only travels through for one tick. And what that means is we get a flash through the repeater, which in turn means that we get a flash through the redstone lamp.
That one was definitely very different from my solution, but he said if I make it work, then I did it right.
But as long as your solution works, then that's the correct answer. And when we hit this button, I want 6 iron blocks to be shot from the dropper.
This one has me a little nervous as well. I'm not exactly certain how to make this work. So this is gonna require a little bit of thinking here. I'm not gonna lie, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing right now. This is definitely not gonna be the most efficient way to do it, but I just wanna see if we can get this to work here. If we just put different delays on each of these, I think that this might stay powered for too long, to be honest. Okay, yeah, so that didn't work at all, but maybe if I make it like an even longer delay here, then we can get 2 pulses sent out. No. Okay, I might be onto something here because I just got 2 blocks with an observer. So what if I just use observers again to make it happen again? Let's see, if we did this and that, then we brought it over here and put some delay on those. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's test it out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 6. I think that's 6 exactly. Let's get all of the iron blocks out of our inventory and pick them up. We did it. I'm certain that's not how Mumbo's gonna show us, but I did it. I did it.
Now this is the pulse extender, and it may look a little bit strange to someone who hasn't seen one of these before, but this is known as a comparator pulse extender, and it's probably one of the most useful circuits I know. You just run comparators kind of back and forth, facing around in this cyclic formation, and what it will do is just extend out your redstone pulse, which of course we've then run out into a redstone torch, which unlocks this hopper, allowing an item to bounce back and forth between the hoppers, which will send an output through the comparator and into this dropper.
I may have made this work, but I think I definitely did it wrong.
Now what I want you to do is push this diamond block back and forth. So when I flick this lever, this piston needs to fire, pushing these blocks across, and then when I turn off the lever, this piston over here needs to fire, pushing the blocks back in this direction.
I've been learning a little bit recently about the edge and fall or something of redstone. It's basically when it turns on and when it turns off. So I'm hoping that that will help me. So the very first thing we wanted to do is push that. And then when we turn it off, we want it to push back. So if we just put an invert, no, that's not gonna work. Let's just push this back real fast here. I think if we just use a repeater with a delay on it, then that should make it happen like this. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, so it pushes and then this way. That didn't work. Again, this one is giving me some trouble. Okay, so I've got something going here. Let's see how this works. Okay, so we're not managing to push it. Let's put a repeater here with a delay on it. Okay, so the problem is that we need this to turn off before this one powers. So let's try that. Okay, now let's try it this way. There we go. And then, there we go, we did it. Okay, so with a funky delay here, and I think this might be called a monostable circuit. I might be an idiot. And then this side just is always powered, but it just barely turns off before that one goes.
So on this side, we've got what's known as a rising edge monostable because it activates when the pulse starts on the rising edge of the pulse. So we flick the lever and that activates that piston over there. Then on this side, we have got what's known as a falling edge monostable circuit because this monostable circuit activates when we turn off the pulse. The pulse is coming from the lever. So when we turn this off, you can see that this monostable circuit fires and then we get the output through that piston, which means that when we flick the lever,
he definitely did that better than me, but I think mine looks a little more simple. Just works a little slower.
Inside this dispenser, we've got ourselves a bucket of water, and what I want you to do is make it so that when we flick this lever, the water is dispensed, and then when we turn off the lever, the water is retracted.
So I'm assuming here if we send a redstone signal into this lamp, it's going to eject our water. Okay, yes. So we're gonna need to activate this twice. I think that we can literally just do the same thing we did with the observer earlier, possibly. I think this should work because this should detect when the redstone is turned on, and then when it turns off, it should also send another signal. Let's check it out. Yes.
So if you flick the lever, you can see we get a flash through that redstone lamp, which is just there for demonstration purposes. And we also get a flash through the redstone lamp when we turn this lever off.
Finally, I did it exactly the same way Mumbo did it. I'm pretty good at redstone if I do say so myself.
To make it so that this piston detects when a block has been placed in front of it, and then it extends, pushing it out the way, and then it retracts so that we can place another block in front of it.
This one seems a little more tricky, but I'm thinking if I just put a redstone torch right there, no. Well, I can tell you a very simple way to make this happen, and that's with an observer hooked up to it, but I think I might be able to come up with a different way that might be more similar to what Mumbo's gonna do, but let's just go ahead and do like that. So now if we place the block here, oh, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. What if we have like a delay on the signal coming out of here? Will that help at all? No, it just makes it happen slower. So what if we like try to do something with locking repeaters? Can we do something like that? I have no belief that this is actually going to work, but let's see what happens. Hold on, maybe. Oh my gosh. We managed, okay, we did it. We did it with some locking pistons, just needed to change the time on it. So I believe the way that this is working is we're getting this redstone signal. It is immediately getting sent to the piston and kicking the piston out. But then before the second signal can come from here, we actually lock this repeater so that no signal can go to the piston.
So when we place in the block, this block will then get powered, powering this redstone dot, which will then power this block, powering the piston, extending the piston, which will then move the block away from this redstone torch, unpowering this redstone dust, which will then unpower our piston.
I think I said something stupid about the observer being the simple way to do this.
I want a redstone pulse to travel down through this line of redstone lamps. So each one of these redstone lamps should power one after the other, and then they should unpower one after the other.
I don't think this one's too tricky, though I'm sure Mumbo is going to show me a little bit of a more compact way to do it. But I think if we just have repeaters all with different signal lengths, that one doesn't need a repeater. And then this repeater, this repeater, this repeater, and set that one to 2, this one to 3, and this one to 4. Then trail our redstone down and trail it from this button over here. I believe that should work. Definitely looks like it's working to me.
You just run observers going across, then observers running out of those. They're detecting the updates from each of the observers, and you get a chain that looks a little bit like this.
Okay, that definitely looks a lot cooler than mine.
I want this redstone lamp to stay activated for 2 seconds. Now, as a top tip, there are 10 redstone ticks per second, so this redstone lamp needs to stay activated for 20 total ticks.
I'm not exactly sure how we're going to time this here, but let's see what we can do. The first thing I'm going to do is set up something so I can tell exactly how long those ticks are, because I know that a repeater is 1 tick. Now that's set to be 4 ticks. I believe it should now take exactly 20 seconds for this light to actually end up turning on. So if we can get this light to stay on for exactly how long it takes these repeaters to reach that lamp, then I think we've done it. I believe that a stone button stays on for 10 ticks, so we only need to add 10 more ticks. So if we do this, does that stay on for exactly 2 seconds? I'm not sure. Let's run some redstone over here, and then we can like figure out if it's staying on for the same amount of time. So that light is turning on before this light actually turns off, which might mean that we are on for too long. Hey Mumbo, how do I do this?
So what I've done is I've run that output through into this redstone dust right here. So this gets powered for 10 ticks. Then 10 ticks later, another 10 tick long redstone pulse comes through and powers it.
Just for kicks and giggles, I set up exactly what Mumbo had set up and hooked it up to our thing as well, so we can see just how close we were. So let's see. Oh, I think I did do it. I think I did it exactly.
To make a sand double piston extender.
I've dabbled around with these a couple of times and they always make my brain hurt, but let's see what we can do here. I know this is where the falling edge and the rising edge stuff comes in, but I still can't remember how to make those different types of monostable circuits. So with the way that I've got this right now, it should extend properly, but then it's not going to retract properly, I believe. Or it'll do nothing. Probably ought to put the redstone right there. There we go. So it extends properly, but then the retraction, yeah, that's what I thought. These also aren't sticky pistons, which I think is going to be a problem, but this is what he gave me. Let's try this. I have no clue if it's going to work, but let's see. So we extend properly. And then we're just permanently powered somehow. I have no idea what causes this when this happens. It happens to me every now and then. So do let me know in the comments if you know why I'm permanently powered. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, so we extend properly, just fine. Oh, we're not even staying extended. Yeah, so this isn't gonna work because then our piston isn't powered and when it pulls back down, it's not gonna work. I'm pretty sure this has to be a sticky piston. I did something. I have no clue what I just did here. I'm gonna replace this with a sticky piston because I think that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, let's try out what we have here. We turn it on, it extends perfectly fine. Then we turn it off and it works. This is how I did it. It took me embarrassingly long, but let's find out how Mumbo does it.
And the answer once again relies on pulse extenders. Down at the bottom here, we've got ourselves a baby little pulse extender, which makes sure that our bottom piston stays extended for longer than our top piston.
Well, I don't think I did too bad, except that obviously I could have had just one row of blocks coming over like he did until it splits. There are still more challenges left, so check out part 2 if it's on screen right now. Otherwise, Mumbo's original video and the map download are in the description. I love you guys, and I will see you later.